You're breathtaking.
What's the worst thing you ever did as horny teenager? Humped a whole in microwaved watermelon. I do not recommend. Edit. I used a sliced cross-section, so it was a circular disc of unfruitful bliss. How the hell did you fit a watermelon in a microwave? Fingered my then-girlfriend in the backseat of her parents' car as we were driving home from her grandfather's funeral. I don't know who's more fricked up, me or her. That's one way of remembering Pop Pop. My boyfriend and I scrounged up enough money for an hour at the local motel. Soon after, we realized I locked the keys in the car. We had no money and couldn't call anyone, so we broke a window out. Played dumb the next day when my parents saw my window. Back in the day, if your parents were home, there was nowhere in this town where you could bang. The cops patrolled every dead-end street and every nearly empty parking lot. So I got the bright idea to pull my car alongside other cars at a dealership lot and use it as a spot to bang in plain sight. Never got caught, but if they were checking the cameras, someone saw a lot. Used a can of dry shampoo to masturbate with. Only I used the capped end. The lid came off and got stuck in my vag. Took ages to get it out as the edges of the cap were stuck behind the opening. I bled a little. That sounds funny and awful. However, at the first sentence I was trying to figure out how I could whack it, penis, with dry shampoo. Haha. Fricked a banana peel wrapped in duct tape. Then I flushed it down the toilet and it actually got stuck. Naturally, I was horrified that it would come back up as my dad was sitting there plunging the toilet trying to figure out why it was blocked up. Thankfully, it ended up going through and I never had to explain why a duct tape banana peel was in the plumbing. Rubbed one out while riding a bicycle. I was on a long-distance bike tour in rural Wisconsin. How the frick? That's actually pretty impressive. The OL Jackie cycle. Wasn't me, but in swim class I saw a girl put her nether parts against one of those water jets. My husband and I have been together since high school, and there was a rumor he got his penis stuck in a Gatorade bottle. He had to rip it off and thought he broke his penis. His friends would straight on rag on him. I think he confided in one and they told everyone. I never actually believed it, but a couple of years into marriage and he admits it was true. Edit. He was very adamant I clarify it was Gatorade and not Powerade. Edit 2. My highest rated comment by far now is about my husband sticking his penis in a bottle. Thanks everyone. He was very adamant I clarify it was Gatorade and not Powerade. Of course, the man has standards. My parents like traveling even though we don't have much money. We finally went to Washington, D.C. so we wanted to spend loads of time. I got super horny and I nutted in the Lincoln Memorial bathroom. That's exactly what the Founding Fathers created America for. I masturbated in the bathroom of the Louvre because I thought it would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yeah, no, I thought I was a really horny teenager, but reading these comments makes me feel like a Puritan. Went off the trail at the Grand Canyon and wanked in the bushes. That's extreme. At least you got a good view. Orgasmed 10 times with an electric toothbrush in a day. 9/10 dentist recommend. Oral-B? I used to jerk off in the living room whenever I felt like it, and to this day I don't know if anyone found out. Edit. I had a blanket over me and I made sure I wasn't sitting next to anyone, but they would walk by me every now and then and I had to stop. I jerked off in the empty apartment under mine when I was 17 and I thought that was risky. Reading these comments I'm like, holy frick. I thought I was home alone. My parents walked in on me and a vacuum cleaner getting acquainted. My dad couldn't stop laughing. My mom was horrified. Later on, it was the most uncomfortable dinner ever. My dad just sat there snickering in between bites of meatloaf, while the only thing my mom said to me the whole time was Adam, eat. Soon after that, I got the talk from my father. Edit. This got lost, so I'm moving it here for those asking. It created this airtight seal around my dick, but if I lifted the hose just slightly, it let enough air get through that it created a significant amount of vibration, which felt pretty amazing if I remember it correctly. Yes, I did finish in it. It was actually my second go-round within a half hour or so when they caught me. A dent ended up forming in the top of it because it overheated thanks to a lack of airflow. Later, my dad basically told me to stop sexing the appliances and to keep my distance from the wet and dry vac. Officer Doofy? Masturbate 17 times in 24 hours. Edit. A few people asked. No, I wasn't taking anything and I'm a guy. Also, thanks for the gold. The last 4 was just your wine or coughing up dust. Found my parents' back massager with an attachment that cupped the head of my cock. Used it sometimes. Mom found out once or twice, and I'll never forget her saying I know it feels good, but jacked it with shampoo from hell that made my dick shed like a snake over the course of a week. Not me, but a friend of mine swims up to me and another buddy at swim practice. Hey guys, have you ever whacked it and your balls hurt after? Nah man, you might want to get that looked at. Yeah. I didn't think beating it that many times before practice would hurt. How many times? Oh, I don't know, like 20 or 25. Say, do you guys have calluses on your dick? I'm a swimmer too. I had a friend who got a boner right before his race and he taped out, said he got sick. It's hard, pun intended, trying to swim in a race with one of those, especially wearing a Speedo. Around 16 years old, 16 years ago, before handheld screens were a thing, I got drunk alone at my parents' and printed off almost 50 pages of close-up vaginas and plastered them all over the bathroom wall with thumbtacks. After an awesome 360 degrees wang session, I went to my room and passed out drunk before I could dispose of the evidence. My sister walked into the vagina room before I got rid of it. She still jokingly brings it up, over a decade later, as if that was embarrassing enough. Soon after, my father used the computer for work reasons and had to use the printer. There was one gigantic vag left in the printer queue. Feo, this is the one out of nearly 100 that made me chuckle pretty good. This one kills me. Do. Printing my important business charts, oh my. I've posted this before but deleted it. But I grew up in a very conservative Christian home, so asking my mom for birth control and /her condoms was not an option, so asking to get a dildo was out of the question. So in my infinite wisdom, I improvised and would use the glass banana from this decorative bowl of glass fruit my mom kept on the dining room table. I knew how dangerous it was, but it was a risk I was willing to take. The banana luckily never broke, but it was still shameful to have to sit at the dining room table every night for dinner being reminded of my dirty little secret. I'm cringing just thinking about what would have happened if the glass had broken inside of you. I don't even have a vagina. Used a banana as a dildo. It was wrapped in a condom, but I made the mistake of peeling it so it just turned to mush. Omegle stripping. Yeah, just wrong watching old men jacket for me. I cut a vagina in my stuffed koala from Build-A-Bear and went to town. Well, those bears are supposed to be customized for you. I did something like that, except it was a green SpongeBob-looking thing I hand-sewed when I was in 3rd grade. Masturbated into an empty fast food soda cup in my female friend's family's living room while having phone sex with my girlfriend on their phone, while my friend was in the other room trying to ignore what I was doing. This is an answer that is laudable in its simple honesty. I took 2 Ziploc bags and put warm water mixed with lotion in them. Mixed them together in the bags and put them under the mattress right on the edge. Was going to town on it and it felt amazing, until one of the bags burst and got liquidy lotion all over my mattress. I had no idea the damage until years later and I moved out. That spot was moldy and super gross and I had no idea I was sleeping on that for years. I put my phone on vibrate, then put it next to my clit. Were you expecting a call or just very patient? I was the official porn distributor for my middle school. This was before Pornhub and smartphones. I was a good writer, so I would take commissions to write you and your crush self-insert erotica. If that wasn't up your alley, I had a massive binder of smut printed from the early internet. I'd staple stories into booklets and loan them out to other students based on whatever ship or budding kink they were into. Helped at least one of my friends realize he was gay. I have no idea how we never got caught. I hid a girl's shoe in the dryer so she'd stay at my house longer. We ended up having sex. How did you go about giving the shoe back? If it's stupid and it works, isn't stupid. Would be freaking my then girlfriend, now wife, at her mom and stepdad's house. I spent the night there. They let me sleep in the bed with her but told us no fooling around with each other. I was 18 or 19 at the time, she was 16. She lived with me at my mother's and father's house. Anyways, she had one of those beds that was metal, had those metal rods that needed screws at the top and bottom. Bed was loud, squeaky as frick. Anyways, we started doing the deed. Her stepdad was at work, but her mother was home sleeping. We get almost done, fricking bed fell apart. The bed was made out of aluminum and she had hardwood floors. So needless to say, when bed fell apart, you heard about 20 or 30 bars falling on the floor. Her mom woke up, came in the room. I'm there on bottom at full mast while wife is on top but ass naked in the process of getting off me. Her mom laughed and said, "Yup, we loosened up the screws and bolts." Not me, but I just found out what my nephew did and I couldn't stop laughing. My cousin, Femel 46, was moving towns and had to stay with my sister for a few days. She went into the shared bathroom to take a shower, and in the shower was a pocket pussy / fleshlight thingy. She told my sister, and my sister was completely embarrassed because the only other person that uses that bathroom is my nephew. 16 years old, my sister threw it away and later confronted my nephew, and their conversation went like this. "Sis, I found your toy in the shower." "Nephew, what did you do with it?" "Sis, I threw that disgusting thing away." "Nephew, that was expensive. You owe me a new one." I died laughing when my cousin told me this story. Can you imagine telling your mom she owes you a new pocket pussy? Shaking my head. Well, she does. I masturbated hands-free in my math class. I wasn't actually a teenager, I was about 12. Still, I didn't get caught, and I wonder how 12-year-old me had the guts to do that. And for anyone wondering how I did it, I used my thighs to add pressure to my crotch. It's a bit difficult, but it works. Don't know if a guy can do it though. Edit. Your upvotes have increased my ego to the size of the sun. Thanks guys, smiley face. I was about 17, and I was seeing this guy and we wanted to have sex. We both lived with our parents, so he got a motel room that he paid for using all of his money from a recent cash job he just did. It was the cheapest one we could find and was connected to a truck stop. We had a sex marathon that night. I felt like a prostitute minus the fact I didn't get paid. I cringe every time I drive past that motel. Sounds pretty classy. I was out there fricking in bushes and fields. Man, fascinating. Why would you regret it though? Sounds like it was consensual and wanted. Humped the mattress and ripped my banjo. True story. Edit. Physically felt it rip followed by a ton of blood. 1/10 would not recommend. Edit 2. Over 2,000 karma for ripping my penis. Jesus Christ on a bicycle. I would always put my clit under the bath water coming from the faucet because of the pressure. Edit. Whoa, this blew up. Thanks for the likes. This is a pretty common way to tickle the bean. Just wait until you try jacuzzi jet. I shoved a hairbrush up my ass. And on another day I jacked off in a cornfield. Pretty sure I broke one of my brother's HEXBUGs. I was at my tutor's home at the table and I started jerking off to some pictures in my mind. And sometimes I would go to her bathroom and beat it. Fingered my girlfriend while we were in a room with our friends. We had it covered up and nobody noticed, but I was so nervous the entire time. They noticed. During high school, make out and fool around with my ex in the back of his parents' car while they would drive us home. I would wear low-cut shirts or deliberately avoid wearing an undershirt to allow easier access to my breasts. Even made him come while we were coming back from Florida and had to hurry inside a visitor center to wipe off my shirt and wash my hands. We also fooled around in my bed at my house with the door open and my stepsister in the room. We would stop or put a blanket over us if we heard footsteps. Also had, not so great, sex in a room at Disney World and in his car in a parking lot across from my church. Holy frick, I just remembered I fricked my girlfriend in a bed next to her parents in a hotel room while they slept. I completely forgot about that shit. After I got my wisdom teeth out, I was given a water syringe with the long thin tip to blast any bits of food out of the holes in my mouth. In the shower I would fill it up with water and blast it down my dick just because it felt cool. About a month later it started hurting when I peed and it would smell like salami and old Cheerios. Turns out I gave myself a urinary tract infection. It went away after I drank enough cranberry juice though. I boiled some eggs and then tried to put them in my vagina using mayo as lube. Pretty sure I got that egg salad at a gas station once. Edit. Thanks to the love. Where do I begin? The worst was taking my LLD lightsaber toy and putting it up the old chute. Confused face. I walked 16 miles to a girl's house to spend the weekend smashing without any parents around. She made moose steaks, had some pot, and knew volumes more about sex than I had ever known. It still stands as a top 3 life moments after 40 years. Please subscribe if you liked the video. It really helps the channel to grow. See you again.